What's going on, my fellow card nerds of YouTube? This is AP Sports Cards here with a Pokemon video today. Today we're talking about serialized Pokemon cards and should Pokemon go hard into the collectability route and really focus on numbered and parallels of different Pokemon cards. I'm going to kind of present the pros and the cons of both sides. I might draw a conclusion here, and then we'll see what you guys have to say about it in the comments. So yeah, there's been a lot of rumors floating around about Pokemon potentially moving to kind of this whole serialized card idea, really leaning into the collectability side. I think some other card games that I'm not as familiar with are kind of going that route, and that's that can be a super fun thing to do. It makes more of a chase, makes the opening a box maybe a little more exciting. But before we get into whether it's a good or a bad idea, we should talk about why serialized cards are necessary. And I think what's cool about this channel is we do some sports and some Pokemon, so we can kind of look at what we've learned from a sports cards perspective that will help us figure out what Pokemon should do and the mistakes that maybe Pokemon could avoid. So, you know, serialized cards are a way for card manufacturers to give manufactured rarity to the collectibles, right? And if you don't know what manufactured rarity is, I have a whole video on what makes cards rare. You should take a look at it. I would put it in the description, but you'll be able to find it. I've got like 4 videos on the channel so far, so go ahead and take a look at that video. Yeah, so manufactured rarity, just real quick summary is the card was rare because the company decided that it needed to be rare, and one way to do that is putting a number on the card and only making a certain amount. And I think that it's necessary when cards aren't organically rare, which is becoming true for Pokemon, right? Because we're in kind of a golden era of Pokemon cards, and it's really hard to make these cards difficult to find because we also want kids to have access to the cards too, and so they're good fair price at retail, and yeah, there's just a lot of cards available. So how do we make it chase? One way is numbered cards. I look at a set like Celebrations, right, where there's not a lot of chase in Celebrations. Those Celebrations packs, you kind of open them, you sort of get what you're looking for. The Mew's kind of hard to get, maybe the Charizard, but realistically, like, you can open a full set of Celebrations if you open enough, or you can get the normal way of open 70% of the set just by ripping boxes and then fill the rest out on eBay. I think that's a great way to do it. But yeah, you kind of get what you're looking for. Most of Pokemon is like this. There's not like these super hard to get chase card, one of one, one of 10 type of cards, right? The rarest cards in the hobby in Pokemon from a set card perspective, I think are probably like gold stars and rainbow rares, and I think those are about one per 2 boxes, or like 72 packs. I'm not 100% sure of that. I don't have all that data in front of me, but I think that's what I've heard before. There's these like alt arts that exist in let's say like Evolving Skies that I think about that same level, one per couple booster boxes maybe. So yeah, there are some chase cards, but there's nothing on the level of numbered sports cards in my opinion, or a true gold sports card out of 50, right? They're actually numbered sports cards are incidentally not that hard to hit anymore because there's so many different numbered sports cards. But serialized cards would make it that you could pull a card right out of a box and it's immediately valuable. In Pokemon today, the most valuable cards coming out of a box that you can buy at the store and open today are not that valuable. You're never going to pull a $10,000 card out of a box of Pokemon right now, unless you're buying a $10,000 box, right? So that sounds cool. That sounds great. So what's the downside? And I think we can look at sports to see what the downside is. I think the number one thing is that once you introduce the idea of artificial scarcity in these chase cards, it really, really hurts the set collectors. I think set collecting in sports is dying, if not dead, right? Nobody wants like the 2020, I don't even know if this card exists, but 2020 Jay Crowder Prism, right? Because they're trying to complete the 2020 Prism set. It's not possible to complete a master set of 2020 Prism because you would have to get all of the different crazy parallels, and that's just not fun. That's not exciting. It's not even really possible unless you have millions of dollars. So, yeah. So I mean, just look at yourself, right? You have like me. I look at myself. Like, I think it would be cool to own a complete set of 52 tops baseball, right? I have no desire to own a complete set of 2020 Prism. And I think that's because 52 Topps Baseball, you can get every card in the set, and then you feel like you actually own all the cards in the set. If you get a base set of 2020 Prism, you don't own any of the chase cards from that, and you don't own any of the. Or you could try to get the entire master set of 2020 Prism, but that's outrageously expensive and probably impossible to find because there's multiple one of ones. So not realistic, not super doable. Uh, so I think set collecting is important to the hobby. Even though it has been kind of dying, I think it's very alive and well in Pokemon, and I think it's sort of the lifeblood of the Pokemon hobby right now. Um, the reason is because with set collecting, every card matters and every card has values. And when you lose the set, has a value, sorry. When you lose the set collectors, 90% of the cards are junk, right? All of your commons are worthless. All of your uncommons would be worthless because you don't have set collectors willing to buy them. I look at a card like Neo Discovery First Edition Yanma, right? I think I've used this as an example in other places before, but that card is, I think, pop 14 right now, and it's super expensive. Um, it's a very hard grade, and it's pop 14 and a 10, I should say. It's a very hard grade, tough card. What's cool about that card is it's really expensive. Nobody likes Yanma. Nobody's favorite Pokemon is Yanma, but that card is still expensive because set collectors need it. Especially if you have PSA 10 set collectors, they have to have that card. And I venture to say that just about all 14 of those are probably in the hands of people who are trying to collect PSA 10 sets, or they are in the hands of somebody who's trying to sell to somebody who's trying to collect a PSA 10 set. I don't want to guarantee, but I'm very, very confident that over time, all of the first edition PSA 10 Yanmas are going to end up in set collectors' hands because I don't think anyone PCs Yanma, right? And so that's cool, right? Because that card has value just from the idea of set collecting, and that's so true with Pokemon. I bought there was a mail day video a few days back where I was showing all these cards that I had. I'm selling like $20 Vileplume unlimited holo cards, and I'm like, who wants to display a Vileplume card? I'll tell you though, the people who are displaying Vileplume cards are people who are trying to finish the jungle set, and they want every card in that set. Nobody's favorite Pokemon is Vileplume, but it's still a valuable card, right? It holds at least some value. It's not trash like that Jay Crowder would be, right? So I think that that's pretty cool. I like the goal of set collecting. So yeah, so that's really the balance we have is the pros of serialized cards are that we have that chase, and the cons are that you lose the set collectors. I really think you would. So how do we balance the two? Where do I lean? I kind of lean towards set collecting. I don't really think that it's necessary to be able to pull $1,000+ cards right out of boxes. Why does that need to be part of the hobby? Why can't or even like $1,000 cards, want $10,000, $20,000 cards right out of boxes? I think it's kind of cool that the most expensive cards are in the couple $100 range, and if you want to make money flipping Pokemon cards, do it in quantity, or do it in vintage. But we don't really necessarily need to be making thousands of dollars on every new set. There shouldn't be $10,000 cards. I don't think there needs to be. I mean, there can be. I think that'd be cool, but not at the expense of losing the set collectors. The other thing that's nice about that is like, you know, me buying a $3 pack of Pokemon, I guess $3. I'm still thinking back in 1999. Me buying a $5 pack of Pokemon cards and pulling a $60 card as an adult is not that big of a deal. But doing that as a kid would be sick as hell. I think kids, still see that as a really big chase, and I really like the idea of kids having chase cards and kids being able to get excited about the hobby. And I don't just say that from like some altruistic like Pokemon is for kids perspective. I also am saying that because I think that you know the more kids that are in the hobby, the more money is going to be in this hobby 20, 30 years from now. And I think the biggest obstacle that Pokemon needs to cross is becoming truly multi-generational for people who are willing to spend a lot of money that didn't grow up in 1999. And I think we have yet to see that because people that grew up in 2002 don't have money yet, right? So we're going to get there, but we need to make sure that we keep feeding it with the next generation of card collector. So that's kind of why I lean towards prioritizing the set collectors over the chase card collectors, right? And yeah, maybe it's just okay that nothing is super expensive out of the pack, right? So is there room for any type of numbered card in the in Pokemon hobby, right? And I think maybe there is, but for the love of God, Pokemon, if you're listening, you're not listening, but for the love of God, if you make numbered cards, please make it manageable, right? I was watching Neo Cards and Comics, used to be Northeast Ohio Sports Cards. If you watch me, you probably watch Neo. He was doing a live stream with a bunch of other Marvel guys, and they're talking about Marvel PMGs, and I don't have much interest in Marvel cards. I think Pokemon cards are better. I'd rather invest in the Marvel comics than the Marvel cards personally. But what I thought was super cool about that conversation is they started talking about parallels, right? And they said, "Oh, this is a red. This is a complete set of the red parallel of all of the different characters in the set." And there was four people on the call. They all instantly knew that red was, I don't know, numbered to 99. They instantly knew that. Could you imagine in sports cards if you said red? Like, I think, I would say, okay, it's probably numbered to 5, but like, it depends on the set. It depends on a million different things. There's no consistency. There's 6 different types of reds. It's wild. So, red means numbered to 99. There are 99 of these in the world. Green means numbered to 5 or whatever, numbered to 10. Gold is a certain number. That is maybe workable, right? If you can make it so that you keep discipline and you have like 3 or 4 or 5 parallels and they're all consistent over multiple sets and multiple years, you could maybe get something here. You could maybe have a situation where you have base set collectors and you still retain the value on all the basic cards, and then you have a guy who's putting together a set of red, right? And you could have a complete set of red that'd be worth a fortune. Now, there's kind of a problem with that, and the problem is that the Pokemon card market is so much bigger than the Marvel card market, and so if you were to stick with the same parallels, like let's just say I don't know what parallels these Marvel PMGs have, but let's just say that you have a parallel to 10, a parallel to 50, a parallel to 100, and a parallel to 500, right? So that's 500, 660 cards, right? In Marvel, there's not so many collectors, so the chance of you getting your hands on one of those 660 cards is like at least somewhat realistic, because they don't make millions and millions of cards like Pokemon does. With Pokemon, that's not as realistic. So if you only have 660 chase cards, everybody would open a pack expecting that there's a small chance that I can get one of those cards, and everybody except for 660 people would be disappointed. And with the number of people in the hobby, you're leaving a ton of people disappointed. So, there's a lot of, I've often said that, they should have kept the parallels small and kept small serial numbers with a small number of parallels. But realistically, I feel like that would probably leave people hollow too, right? People want at least some chance of getting the hit. If you're talking about 660 cards over an entire set, you have no chance of getting a hit. So even that level of putting in a basic number of parallels, I think you could do it. I think that set collecting would still thrive if you kept it small like that. But I think that chase that you're supposedly getting by adding serial numbered cards probably isn't actually a real chase because no one can access it. So yeah, it's a tough question for these card manufacturers. It's a tough question for Pokemon. I think my choice would be to kind of keep doing what you're doing. Keep it so that the hits are 1 per 70 to 100 packs, as opposed to what I just suggested, where it would be 1 per 10,000 packs, right? That's not fun. So I like the idea of keeping the set collectors, kind of keeping with the status quo in Pokemon. I'm not crazy about the idea of numbered Pokemon cards because I'm afraid of what it will do to the hobby. I'm afraid that it will either have too many numbered cards, in which case the set collectors will disappear and 90% of the cards in the sets will go to 0, or we'll have not enough, in which case we'll probably be kind of back to where we are now, except for people will be a little pissed off that they're never pulling one of these cards. So yeah, that's my take on the situation. I don't know that I gave a really clear answer. Let me know in the comments what you think about the idea of serialized Pokemon cards. I can't lie. I'm excited for the idea, even though I think that it's probably bad for the hobby. I would totally open packs and chase them. So I'm very conflicted on this one. Don't know that I have a strong conclusion for you guys today, but yeah. Please, by the way, like and subscribe to this channel. I don't have a ton of subscribers. I'm really working hard to build this channel up into something cool. I'm looking. I have big ambitions, but I don't want to do too much until I have a little bit of an audience to share with. But I have really cool ambitions about sports cards and Pokemon card content. I really want to do some deep dives into the actual players themselves and sports. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share the video. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. You have a great day.